Hello, friends. Oh, where's my video? There it is. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Exercise with Exos. I'm really excited about today's workout. Honestly, you guys, it's going to be really tough, but it's going to be a really good one, and we're going to be better after it. But before I get into explaining what the workout is today, I wanted to ask everyone because I posted about this on Slack yesterday, and it is Super Bowl weekend. So let me know what your favorite Super Bowl snack is if you have one, or your favorite football snack. I know mine definitely is chili. Like, I'm definitely a chili and football person because it's cold outside. You got to warm yourself up. But yeah, let me know what you like to eat during the Super Bowl. Ooh, meatballs, that sounds good. Ooh, queso, that's a good one too. Vegan buffalo wings, that sounds super interesting. That sounds actually really good. I love buffalo sauce. Um, Beer, yes, beer is also a good one to have. Great snack. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the workout today. So we're gonna be doing 6 different exercises, essentially, technically 8 exercises, but we're doing 6 different um, levels. 40 seconds of work of the first exercise, 20 seconds of the second exercise. Okay, so we're gonna do straight up full minute for everything, 40 seconds of the first, 20 seconds of the second. So I'll go ahead and get started explaining that. So we're gonna start off on the ground doing a plank with an arm lift. So here we can be in a kneeling position or in a full plank, whatever you're most comfortable with. Let me move my camera down a little bit so you guys can see. So we're doing plank arm lifts. So you can, again, either do these from the knees or the toes, but we're going to be here. So hands directly below the shoulders, and then we're going to alternate lifting each arm above head. So trying to keep our core nice and tight, keep from rotating those hips. And if we're on the knees here, we're going to be here straight as a board from our knees through to our head. So those are the two options there. And so we're going to do that for 40 seconds. And then we're going to go ahead and do some marches for 20 seconds. So then we're going to march here. So when we are marching, we're using our core to drive the knee up to a 90-degree angle. So we're driving with the core, with our arms as well. So we're punching the ground away from us, swinging those arms back and forth, just like hammers. Okay. So we're going to do plank arm lifts with a march. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to do some lateral squats. So we're going to take those knees nice and wide, and by knees I mean feet, feet nice and wide, and we're going to laterally go to each side. So going to one side, squeeze a glute, come back up, other side, squeeze a glute and come back up. So we want to make sure that knee is tracking past our second toe, glutes are coming back, and then we're going to squeeze on the way up. So we're going to do that for 40 seconds, and then for 20 seconds, we're going to do burpees, okay? So burpees, normally, right? So we're going to jump light on the feet, hands to the ground, feet back into that plank position. We're not pushing up, don't worry. So we're in that plank position. When we jump up, whole foot is going to jump on the ground. So heel, big toe, little toe on the ground, and then you jump. If you're not in a position to be jumping today, you can place your hands on the ground, walk your feet out, walk your feet back up, and stand on up. So that's the option there. Then what we're going to do after that are bent over A's. So we're going to be hinging at our hips, so feet shoulder width apart, hips back, arms straight out in front of us. And we're going to lift our arms straight up to our sides and make an A and back down. So we're going to squeeze through the armpit and lift our arms up. So from the back side, it's going to look like this, squeezing the armpits and back down. Doing that for 40 seconds. And then we're going to do more marching. So A's and marching. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to curtsy lunges. So for curtsy lunges, we're going to start on one side. We're going to alternate with these. We're stepping back in diagonal. Hips are forward down into that curtsy lunge and then back to the other side. Same thing. So knees tracking past the second toe. We're squeezing the glute. Our center of mass is directly over the arch of our foot. And then for 20 seconds, we're going to do burpees. So I don't know if you guys are sensing the pattern here, but march burpees for 20 seconds. And then we're going to get on the ground on our backs and we're going to do some dead bugs. So we're going to have arms straight in the air, knees straight in the air, 90-degree angle at the knees and the hips, extending opposite arm, opposite leg. And we exhale, come back to center, making sure that low back is plastered to the ground using our core. And then we're going to do marches after that. So march for 20 seconds. And then finally, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do pike push-ups. So we're going to be in a start off in a plank, push yourself up into the pike, and then we're going to bring our head towards the ground, push back up into that pike position. So if that is something that's not really available to you today, you can go ahead and do regular push-ups here from the knees. So that's option number 2. And we're going to be doing burpees with that. So every other one marches burpees for 20 seconds. And then we got the full circuit for 40 seconds. So I definitely will remind you what's coming up. Luis also just put that in the chat box for us. So thank you to Luis. And we're going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up. So starting with at the top of our space here, we're going to do the world's greatest stretch. So we're going to bring our right knee up towards our chest, feeling that stretch through the glutes, and we're going to go ahead and step back into a reverse lunge, hands on the inside of that front foot, which is going to be the left foot here, back leg nice and straight. We're going to plant that right arm, rotate the left arm towards the ceiling, gazing past our thumb, so we're rotating through the spine, through our neck here, and we're going to exhale, place that hand on the outside of our front foot, push ourselves up into a nice hamstring stretch. So we're trying to get our head as close to the knee as we can, feeling that stretch through the back of our leg. Also have those toes pointed up towards the sky. And then we're going to go ahead and bring the right foot next to the left foot and stand on up. Wonderful. So we're going to go ahead and now do that same thing on the other side. So grabbing our left knee, bringing it towards the chest here. And then we're going to go ahead and go into reverse lunge, hands on the inside of that front leg. And we're going to go ahead and take our right hand, open up towards the ceiling, gazing past that thumb. Back leg is nice and flat. And we're going to exhale, place that hand on the outside of the front leg, push ourselves up into a hamstring stretch so that right leg is nice and straight, getting as close as we can to the knee, toes pointed up. And we're going to go ahead and bring the left foot next to the right foot and stand on up. Wonderful. All right, last thing we're going to do here before we get started is we're going to do a hip flexor hamstring stretch. So we're going to be in a half kneeling position. So I'm going to have my right knee on the ground first, left foot on the ground. We're going to tuck our pelvis, squeeze the glute with the knee that's on the ground, push those hips forward. So we're staying nice and tall here, reaching that arm above our head. So the same knee that's on the ground, that arm is above our head. And we're going to exhale. Now we're going to push back into a nice hamstring stretch. So we're, again, bringing our face towards the knee, toes pointed up, getting a nice stretch through the back of the leg. And we're going to do that one more time. So we're back to the hip flexor, pushing our hips forward, squeezing the glute of the knee that's on the ground, reaching our hand above head, feeling that stretch in front of our hip, keeping our core nice and tight. And we're going to exhale, rocking back into that hamstring stretch. Big deep breath here, trying to get as close to the knee. And we're going to go ahead and switch over to the other side now. This is a quick dynamic stretch here. So we're tucking that pelvis, push the hips forward. We got the other knee on the ground now, squeezing the glute of the knee that's on the ground, reaching our hand above head. Big deep belly breaths here, keeping that core tight. And we're going to go ahead and rock back into that hamstring stretch. So toes to the air, trying to get as close to the knee as we can. And on the next exhale, going back into our hip flexor stretch. This is the last one here. So squeezing the glute, the knee that's on the ground, reaching that hand above head, keeping our core nice and tight. And exhaling, rocking back into the hamstring stretch. And we can go ahead and release out of that. And we're going to get ready with the first portion of the workout. So we're going to do this 3 times through, starting off with the plank arm lift. You can either be on your toes or on your knees, whatever is more comfortable today. 40 seconds, reaching above head, and then we're going to march for 20 seconds, okay? So I'll let you guys know what's coming up, how much time we have left, and all of that great stuff. So getting ready on the ground for those plank arm lifts. I'm going to start this timer here in 3, 2, 1, and go. So making sure that our hips are pointed down towards the ground. We are not rotating through the torso. We're staying nice and tight here, using that core. I am doing it for my knees right now because I don't know if my shoulders can handle it after all the shoulder stuff we did this morning in my total body strength class. So I'm just going to stay on my knees here today, but really making sure that we're keeping that core nice and tight. Our hips, we got headlights on them, and they're blinding the ground here. Don't forget to breathe, keeping that core tight. 3, 2, 1. We're hopping up and we're marching. We're getting those knees up. And we have the opposite arm going with the opposite leg. So we're making sure that we're punching the ground away from us, hammering those arms down. And we got lateral squats. They're coming up here real quick, you guys. 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're nice and wide. One side, squeeze the glutes, and then the other leg, squeeze the glutes. So making sure that we're keeping that opposite leg nice and straight, letting the knee track past the second toe, squeezing the glutes, coming up to center. So if you would like to add some weight to this, some resistance, you can add some dumbbells if you have them. If you have a water bottle, anything around your house that has some weight, feel free to grab something, add it to the workout here if you would like to. All right, we got 10 more seconds of this, then we're doing burpees, and then we're going right into those bent over A's. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're doing burpees. We got 20 seconds of this. It's gonna go by real fast, making sure we got the whole foot on the ground, jumping, landing as soft as we can on our feet. We got bent over A's coming up next. 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're pushing those hips back. We got our core tight back, nice and flat. We're bringing those arms straight to our sides and back down. So we're squeezing through the armpit. It is helpful if you imagine you're walking around, you got some papers under your arms, and you don't want those papers to fall. That's what that should feel like when we're squeezing through the armpit. Now it's a weird cue, but definitely helps. All right, we got 10 more seconds, and then we're gonna go ahead and march a little bit, and then we're gonna go straight into those curtsy lunges. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're marching. This is our active rest period. You guys doing awesome. Hammer those arms, punch the ground away from you. We got 10 more seconds, and then we're doing those alternating curtsy lunges here. 3, 2, 1. All right, curtsy lunges. So we're stepping diagonally back and behind, and then we're squeezing the glutes, coming back up. So when we step down, we want to make sure those hips, we got those headlights. Blind me through the camera with your headlights here. Making sure we're not opening up too much. All of our weight is in the front of the foot. So we're not using the back of the foot at all. It's just there to help with balance, but we're pushing off of this front leg, feeling it in the glutes. All right, you guys, 10 more seconds. And then we got some burpees coming up, and then we're gonna do our dead bugs. 3, 2, 1, we're burping. We got 20 seconds of burpees, and then we're gonna be on the ground on our backs for those dead bugs. So again, if you're not in a place to jump today, go ahead and walk your legs back out and back forward. Try and get as many in as you can. 3, 2, 1. All right, on our backs, on the ground, dead bugs. So our backs, our low back is plastered into the ground. If you start to feel your low back coming up, or if you're feeling this too much in the hips here, I want you to have your leg come up higher. So if you feel it, if your back comes off the ground, if your leg is straight out, lift it up a little bit, and that will help. Imagine you're squeezing an apple with your core when you bring your legs back to center. We got 10 more seconds, and then we're gonna march. Exhaling as you come up. 3, 2, 1. All right, standing on up, and we're marching again. And then we got those pike push-ups or kneeling push-ups, whatever is more comfortable for you today. And then we're gonna do burpees, and then we're starting back at the top with those plank arm lifts. 3, 2, 1. All right, back on the ground in that pike position, hips are in the air, bringing the head towards the ground. So we are trying to place the top of our head in between our hands here. We're keeping our core nice and tight. Our back is nice and flat. And we're pushing the ground away from us. Feeling this in our shoulders, as well as a little bit through the armpits because we're keeping our shoulder blades nice and flat here. We're gonna do burpees here in about 5 seconds. Then we're starting at the top. 3, 2, 1. We're going to burpees. We got those plank arm lifts after these 20 seconds burpees. And then we got marches right after. Keeping that core tight. Whole foot landing on the ground. 3, 2, 1. All right, kneeling plank arm lifts or regular plank arm lifts. Again, whatever's available to you today. We're doing awesome. Keep pushing, y'all. We got 2 more rounds of this. Trying to keep those hips pointed towards the ground. We're not rotating. We're keeping that core nice and tight. Back is nice and flat. We got about 10 more seconds, and then we're going to get into those marches before we go into the lateral squats. 3, 2, 1. All right, getting up on our feet. We're marching again. And then we got those lateral squats coming up. You guys are doing so good. Now it's a lot of up and down, but we're doing good. We're gonna feel great when we're done. 3, 2, 1. All right, lateral squats. Feet nice and wide. Bring the hips back, squeeze the glutes, and back to standing. So we got one leg staying nice and flat. We gotta make sure we got whole foot on the ground. Heel, big toe, little toe. Keeping our core nice and tight. Back is nice and flat. We're letting that knee track past our second toe here. You guys are doing awesome. We got 10 more seconds, and then we're doing burpees. You guys are doing great. Now this is a tough one. 3, 2, 1. We're doing burpees. 20 seconds do go by pretty quickly. Landing with that whole foot on the ground. And again, if you're not in a place to jump today, go ahead and walk those feet back and forth instead of jumping here today. 3, 2, 1. We're bent over A's here. Pushing those hips back. Squeezing through the armpit. Keeping our low back and our upper back nice and flat. We gotta pretend like we got an orange, squeezing between our shoulder blades as we keep that paper from falling out in between our arms and our bodies. We got marches after this, and then right into curtsy lunges. We got about 10 more seconds to go. Making sure we're making a nice A. That's what we should look like at the bottom. So arms are coming straight out. 3, 2, 1. We're marching, getting those knees up, making sure that we're using our core to get those knees up, not our hip flexors. Punching the ground away from us. Feel free, if you need to get water at any point in time, you guys, please hydrate throughout this class. 3, 2, 1. Straight into curtsy lunges. It is important to make sure that if you do need to take rest at any point in time, please do so. Make sure you're staying hydrated. I know my apartment is starting to get real toasty. Making sure we're replenishing our water that we sweat out. We're pushing the ground away from us. Heel, big toe, little toe. Weight is all in that front leg. We got our center of mass directly over the arch of our foot. We got 10 more seconds, and we're gonna burpee, and then we're gonna go do dead bugs. 3, 2, 1. Burpees. Make sure we're not forgetting to breathe. We do have dead bugs after this. So we're gonna be laying on the ground. It's a nice active rest, I would say, after burpees. 3, 2, 1. On the ground, on our backs. Legs in the air, arms in the air. Extending opposite arm, opposite leg. Making sure we're exhaling as we come to center. Pretend like you got an apple sitting on your stomach. You're just crushing it as you bring your knees back towards the center of your body. Keeping that low back plastered into the ground. Pretend like you're pushing your belly button into the ground. We got about 5 more seconds, and then we're gonna do some marching. 3, 2, 1. Standing on up. We got marches coming up. And then after that, we're gonna go into that the pike push-up. And then we're gonna do burpees, and we got 1 more round. Y'all are doing awesome. 3, 2, 1. We're on the ground, pike push-ups, glutes in the air, bringing our head in between our hands, keeping our core nice and tight, pushing the ground away from us. Make sure we're not forgetting to breathe. Great job, everyone. Keep pushing. I know this is a tough one, but y'all are doing awesome. We got about 10 more seconds. And then we got those burpees. And then we're going to go ahead and do the plank arm raises. 3, 2, 1. And we're burpee time. Great job, you guys. Make sure your whole foot is landing on the ground, pushing the ground away from us with our whole foot. 3, 2, 1. And we got plank arm raises, kneeling plank arm raises, and whatever is available to you today. And my shoulders are also feeling it after all those burpees. So if you need to go onto your knees, totally understandable. All these burpees are getting to my lungs too. I don't know if you guys have tried this before, but it's really hard to do burpees and talk at the same time. We have about 10 more seconds, and then we're gonna march, making sure those hips are blinding the ground. We need backs to be nice and flat. 3, 2, 1. Back on our feet for marches. And then we're gonna do lateral squats, then more burpees. Making sure we got opposite arm, opposite leg coming up, driving those knees up with our core. Lateral squats, 3, 2, 1. All right, feet nice and wide. This is our last round of this. We're doing great. Push the ground away from us. Heel big toe, little toe. And we are using our glutes, keeping the opposite leg nice and straight. We got our hips coming back. And we are pushing with our whole foot. We got about 10 more seconds, and we're gonna do burpees. Then we got our bent over A's. Squeeze those glutes. 3, 2, 1. All right, burpees. Landing with our whole foot on the ground. Keep pushing, keep pushing. We're almost there. We got bent over A's next. 3, 2, 1. All right, bent over A's. Hips are back. Arms coming straight up. Squeezing through the armpits. So we're keeping those shoulder blades are crushing that orange. We're making sure our papers aren't falling between our arm and our bodies. We're squeezing all the way up. We're not using momentum here. We're just using our back muscles to lift those arms up. We got 10 seconds, and then we're gonna march, and then we're gonna do some curtsy lunges here. Great job, y'all. 3, 2, 1. We're marching. We're about halfway done with this final round. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Use that core. Almost there. Curtsy lunges are next. And then we got burpees. 3, 2, 1. All right, curtsy lunges for 7 diagonal and behind. Squeezing those glutes. Knee tracking past the second toe. Remember those headlights. I want you guys to blind me with your hips. We got burpees coming up after this. And then we're gonna do some dead bugs. Remember, if you need to get water, please grab water. This is a minimal rest workout, but if you need to take some time, take a few seconds, grab water, catch your breath. We're doing burpees here in a few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Burpees. And then we're going onto the ground with those dead bugs. And then we're marching. And then we got pike push-ups and burpees, and then we'll cool down. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. We got dead bugs. We're on our backs, pressing that low back into the ground. Pretend like you got an apple sitting on your stomach. Crush that apple as we exhale and bring those knees back to center. Making sure that we're pressing our belly button into the ground. We're not using those hip flexors. We really shouldn't feel this in our hips. We got about 10 more seconds, and then we're gonna march. And then we got pike push-ups. And then burpees. Doing great. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are marching. Getting on up. Getting those knees up. And grab some water. This is our last marching. And then we got those pike push-ups or kneeling push-ups. And then we got burpees. 3, 2, 1. All right, pike push-ups. So we got butt in the air, bringing our head in between our hands, pushing the ground away from us. So we're keeping our whole back nice and flat. That includes those shoulder blades and our low back. We're pushing the ground away from us, bringing our head as close to the ground as we can before we push back up. We should feel this in our shoulders. All right, you guys, we got 10 more seconds. And then we're gonna do our last round of burpees. And then we're gonna cool down. And then it's time to eat. Time to get lunch. 3, 2, 1. Burpees, last set. Make it your best set, everyone. Push yourselves. Try and get a few more burpees than we did the last time. Finishing strong here. 3, 2, 1. And that will end the workout full of burpees. Awesome job, you guys. Give yourselves a clap, a nice pat on the back. That was not an easy one. Well, we all did so great. Go ahead and get a sip of water, catch your breath. We're gonna make our way down onto the ground for our cool down. And we are gonna be on our hands and our knees for both things we're gonna do during this cool down, okay? So we're gonna be on those hands and knees. We're gonna take the hips, and by hips I mean knees, a little wider than our hips. And what we're gonna do is some quadruped rocking, getting those hips nice and cooled down. We're gonna do 5 of these, okay? So we're gonna bring our glutes to our heels, hold here for a second or two, squeeze, and come back onto our hands and our knees. So we're just gonna rock back and forth between those two. We're gonna do about 5 of these, keeping that back nice and flat. You should start to feel that stretch in the bottom as we bring our glutes to the heels. And let's go ahead and do one more here. Ending back on our hands and our knees. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and do some child's pose. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna walk our hands forward, sink our hips back, forehead, chin, or cheek onto the ground. And we're gonna do 3 deep breaths here. So we really wanna focus on the breath, focus on exhaling slightly longer than we're inhaling, getting our heart rate down, tapping into our parasympathetic nervous system, getting ready to eat. So we're gonna do nice, big, deep inhales into the belly and slowly exhale. And let's go ahead and do one more big inhale here. And slowly exhale. You can return to either seated, kneeling, or standing, however you would like to end this workout. But awesome job, everyone. That was hard, but you guys did so good. Thank you all for coming. I love to get to work out with y'all every Thursday at 12. It's such fun time. Don't forget, we do have another stretch breaks today at 2:30. Luis is always really good about giving us some stretches that kind of coincide with everything that we worked today. So don't miss out on that. We do also have a couple new classes coming up. We got abs and a mobility class with Brittany later today at 4:30. And then we got tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., sports performance and mindset reset with me. And then we got a 12 p.m. fitness Friday class with Luis. So don't miss out on those. You can check out everything on our SharePoint site. But thank you all so much for coming. Great job. And I will see you guys all soon.